Hi, my name is Manda. Welcome or welcome back. Today in The Sims, I will be designing a cozy bookstore, and I'm excited to show you what we came up with. For the first thing, I'm working on the foundation. I am envisioning a small, tiny little bookstore with a big rounded bay window so that you can see all the books on the inside. I'm actually going for dark academia vibes. I'm thinking overgrown, cluttered, Howl's Moving Castle. I just really love when you go in and you feel like you're going to uncover some kind of secret. I've only recently been playing The Sims. I'm still kind of new to the game, so some of the controls are tricky for me and my build might not be that technically advanced. But I used to play Animal Crossing and it taught me my design style and the things that really inspire me and bring me joy, which is moss, clutter, overgrown, cottagecore. It's been a lot of fun expressing that through The Sims. I wanted the library to have a vintage feel with brick and dark wood tones. I'm adding unique windows with really pretty stained glass to add some character. And then I'm also adding overgrown flower boxes to the windows. Along with a curved porch and wooden staircase. I couldn't quite get the rail to fit correctly, so my plan is to add some vegetation and make a little garden area. Right now I'm just getting some plants and vegetation from the debug menu so I don't have to look for them later. I had to move the building back because I wanted to add in a sidewalk. This is meant to be a bookstore, so naturally you would have people walking along the sidewalk. And I'm building a little rock wall for my garden area off the side of the porch. I like to fill it with different plants just to give it different textures and make it look more interesting. I'm adding in the terrain paint to add depth and shadow. And then I decided to go in and add some different height levels on the ground. This gave me a little bit of trouble, but I like the way it turned out. I feel like it makes the area look more natural than just a flat lot. I'm doing the pathway in terrain paint as well to give the cobblestone a little bit more of a worn texture. Here I am going in with just a little bit of grass to add some overgrown details to the rock. I'm also adding vegetation and weeds and grass and all kinds of vines to the side of the building to make it look a little bit more lived in. We want to feel like this bookstore has been here for a while. I couldn't find an awning I liked for the curved windows, so I went and kind of built one on my own. I pieced together the different wood awnings to make it look like one, and I like the way it turned out. I think it has a little bit of a hand-built texture to it. I'm adding signs and lights to the wall just to make it look more realistic. I like the way this suitcase looks with the books. I actually tend to use it in a lot of my builds. I specifically like the basket on this, but I don't like the other parts, so I'm going to be covering them up with different items. To hide the jug better, I'm just adding plants and foliage to cover up everything. Next, I'm adding this postcard to kind of imitate a mail slot. And I'm adding this book pedestal to look like a sign. I'm just adding hedges along the side of the building. And I'm adding a sidewalk out front. I'm positioning the lamppost and the garbage can just because it's a city sidewalk. I'm putting little bits and pieces of weeds all along the grass to make it look more realistic, and I'm adding grass underneath the bench. I'm going in with a little more terrain paint now that I have the landscaping more figured out. I like to add bushes and grass and flowers of all different sizes and colors. And now I'm working on the back side of the building with different vegetation and windows. I decided to change the color on the windows just to make it all kind of match better. And I'm adding an additional planter box to this flower box to make it look more overgrown. I'm adding terrain paint underneath the trees to make them look more realistic, and I'm adding rocks to the bushes and to the hedges to make them also look more realistic. The goal here is to kind of make it look realistic. I'm adding a fence along the perimeter. I feel like it really sets the scene and ties everything together. I'm adding more of that cobblestone terrain paint. And I'm adding a gate to the fence. Finishing up the fence line and adding a couple more details just about finishes the outside of this build. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. We're about to get to the inside of the bookstore, and I'm really excited to show you. I love the way it came together. The main floor is especially my favorite. It's cramped, it's cozy, it has all of the right vibes. Okay, let's go decorate inside. I'm adding a ladder staircase because I actually want it to look like the kind of ladder that goes up the tall bookshelves. I'm working on the upstairs first since it's smaller and it will be easier for me to focus on. I'm building a bathroom off the corner and adding a bathroom door. Since my plan is to use dark-toned furniture, I am going to use beige wallpaper and light-toned wood for the floors so that the details of the build don't get lost. I really want things to be able to stand out on their own, and I think that this color choice will complement the details well. The goal is warm and cozy bookstore instead of creepy, dirty, overgrown, witchy potion shop. So now I'm just decorating the bathroom, and I'm keeping in mind that this is for a business and it's not a personal bathroom, so it won't have all of the same things. The clutter will be a little bit different in terms of being cleaning supplies and commercial grade appliances rather than homey personal bathroom products. I'm adding a stain to the floor along with the runner rug. The debug menu actually has a lot of cute little items that are fun to add for clutter. And then while I'm in the debug menu, I'm just grabbing a couple things so I don't have to look for them later. I'm adding a little stool just in case someone can't reach the sink. And additional cleaning supplies at the top of the cabinet. I sized down this laundry hamper to look like a garbage can. I'm adding a light switch, a paper towel holder, and hand soap to the wall so that I can get rid of the hand soap on the sink counter and replace it with a plant. I'm moving the little cleaning area towards the stairs to get it out of the way, and changing the color just so it will match. I plan to add a little kitchen nook here for the break room, just somewhere they can go to drink some coffee. I'm adding in a comfy sofa so that the employees have somewhere to sit during their break. And I'm adding this really big plant to take up space. I'm adding clutter that you would normally find in a break room, such as Kleenex, magazines, loose change, boxes of snacks, coffee cups. This break room really only has a coffee pot. And then I'm adding a shelf for additional storage, which will have a plant, salt and pepper, and extra coffee cups. The cute dragon statue kind of carries the character of the bookstore up to this room. Next, I'm just adding the overlapping rugs to make it more cozy and changing the color to fit the theme. I'm also adding a mirror just to check your teeth before your break is over because there is not one in the bathroom. Okay, so now we get to go into the main floor and get started on the actual bookstore portion. I'm choosing a herringbone floor with a pinstripe wallpaper, and I think this will complement the vintage feel of the bookstore along with the actual books themselves. We are starting in the front bay window, and we are going to be creating the store display. I'm hoping for this to be crowded and overgrown with a lot of books and plants to kind of set the tone for the entire store. To make this display look unique, I am working on stacking flowers, books, plants, and different knickknacks to add interest and detail. I feel like if I owned a real store, it would be very hard for me to not go outside of the store all of the time and check on my display as I'm working on it. And I think it's looking really good. And now we're working on the inside, and I'm just doubling the bookcase to face outwards to give the illusion of a larger bookcase. And I'm stacking a bookshelf behind the ladder to accomplish the ladder effect that I had mentioned earlier. And I am just playing around with the different bookcases from different packs and the color tones of them to see what goes together. And I am mixing and matching different bookcases. I think it gives a really homey and comforting feel to this bookstore. It doesn't feel as commercial. I'm stacking bookcases inside of other bookcases to kind of break up the textures and to add varying degrees of books and to add different shapes and textures along the outside wood of the bookshelves. On the actual shelves themselves, I'm adding plants and some extra greenery. And I am removing the lights so that I can see if everything is blending together as I am expecting it would. It does make it a little difficult to see in the video, but I think it accomplishes the effect that I was going for quite well. I'm adding the counter for the front desk. And I'm changing the color of the main bookshelves that go behind the bay window. I'm just filling in the floor and the rest of the shelves with clutter. And I'm adding little vintage details throughout the entire bookstore. And now I'm working on a shelving unit behind the main desk. If we flip around, we have paddle stools to actually sell items. This kind of reminds me how in Stardew Valley the library has the location where you can put all of the things you find. Just little odds and ends. I'm also decorating the top of the bookcases, and I'm putting a plant inside of this bookcase to pretend that there are plants stacked on the shelves. I'm adding greenery to the top of the bookcases to make it look overgrown. I'm adding this party garland to the wall, and then you will see to the front desk later. And I think that adds in the homey touch that I'm going for this comforting bookstore, and it kind of takes it out of the realm of witchy potion shop. Now on this wall, I'm kind of working on a seating area. I want it to be comforting and homey, but I don't want it to be too worn and old. I'm bringing in the tones of yellow in the chair and in the mushroom to tie into the stained glass and the other yellow elements in this room. I like stacking together the different pieces of furniture to come up with new bookcases to use in this room so that they're not all the same. And I do that by shrinking them down and pushing them together. And now I'm just adding plants and other clutter pieces, along with more books that will be for sale and on display. I really like this little cat planter. It matches the cat statue on the porch. I'm continuing to just add small clutter pieces to add detail. Such as books all around the floor, the postcard to the wall. And little pieces of flowers here and there. I'm also adding the potion bottles from the debug menu, and I like the way that they fill up. I think that makes it look more lived in. I'm also building a bookshelf for this corner of the room. And again, I'm adding plants and books for clutter. And I'm adding a hanging plant to add height. I decided to add a lamp to bring some light back in here. And then I'm adding cracks to the floors and different kinds of rugs to make it look more worn and lived in. And I think the rugs also add in texture. I'm adding mud to the bottom of this vase. I think adding just a little bit of wear and tear to the walls makes it look lived in but not too dirty. This curtain ties in the color palette of the bookstore and helps the window not feel so cold. It really brings in warmth and comfort to the room. I think adding stationery and coffee cups and little trinkets to the desk make it look well loved and homey, which is the entire goal here. I think the very small details like paper and notepads add a whole lot to this room. You can tell someone spends a lot of time at this desk. And now we're moving on to the final videos of the build. I really hope you enjoyed watching my first speed build. Thank you so much for sticking out to the end. I appreciate it a lot. If you liked the vibes here, if you liked what you saw, I would appreciate if you subscribed and leave me a comment and let me know what I could do differently. I'm completely open to learning and getting better as we go. I will be adding this cozy bookstore to the gallery if you wanted to play it or check it out for yourself. All of the information for this build will be in the description box below. Bye!